This news program is proudly brought to you by
Smart Start Breakfast Biscuits
and Now Biscuits.
National Fisheries Authority launches 2 projects in Esa Ala district. Aircraft maintenance affects Air Niugini operations. And PNG City Mission on employment challenge for graduates. A very good evening. You're watching National Emtv News. I'm Grace Papiali. Thank you for joining us. National Fisheries Authority has launched 2 important projects for people in remote Esa Ala district in Milne Bay province. These projects are the fish market and jetty for the district.
Milne Bay province is the biggest maritime province in the country, and as such, fisheries projects are essential to boost marine economy within Milne Bay. This was reiterated by Esa Ala MP Jimmy Maladina. Prime Minister James Marape and his delegates arrived on Norman Bay Island in Esa Ala district yesterday afternoon to officiate and witness the launching of 2 NFA projects that are set to benefit the district and the province as a whole. Also present were all ward members and people within the district, Milne Bay Provincial Administration representatives, stakeholders and other government department officials. Governor for Milne Bay Province Gordon Wesley explained the benefits of these projects for his people.
Special project agreement with NFA to undertake the fish market and jetty project, and also to revive the boat building project just across the bay at Salamo. The project was initiated by the district to supply fresh fish through what used to be called Kula May. The Esala Fish Market and Jetty project will support the fishermen and fish farmers and seaweed farmers in Esala.
Laban Gisawa, acting managing director of the National Fisheries Authority, had this to say during the ribbon cutting.
The next phase of development you would desire to see is the construction of the cold storage facility, where all the fish caught from Esala will be stored in those cold storage facilities. They will then be moved to the market in Alotau. The market in Alotau advancing in or progressing into acquiring their license. They're waiting for export, facility and storage license requirements. As soon as that is met and they meet, HESEP standards and any other standards, especially if we are exporting to China, we need to meet GACC requirement.
Prime Minister Marape assured the people of Esa Ala that these will not be the last projects to be launched in the district.
I want to announce to the people of Esala, for the next 5 years, minimum you will receive from Waigani is about 75 million kina. This year, next year, following year, and I want the DDA to plan properly. 75 million kina up to possibly 100 million kina plus will come to Esala district like never before.
Esa Ala Open MP Jimmy Maladina shared the same sentiments and reminded his people to take care of these projects. Lindy Suharupa, National MTV News.
With the constant delay in flights and offloading of passengers severely affecting the traveling public nationwide, Minister for State Enterprises William Duma released a statement yesterday evening explaining that currently there are no spare aircraft for Air Niugini to lease and bring into the country to ease this current situation. Minister Duma said 2 of Air Niugini's Boeing 767 are unserviceable and disruption was felt across the business.
This flight is ready for departure.
Whilst apologizing to the traveling public, Minister for State Enterprises William Duma revealed that New Guinea's two Boeing 737 aircrafts and Fokker fleets are currently serving the international business, resulting in the disruption which is felt across the nation and by the business as well. With the two other unserviceable Boeing 767 aircrafts, one has gone into service today, hoping that all goes well with its repair part, which has been flown in from the U.S. According to the statement by Minister Duma, the solution at hand is to get the two Boeing 767 aircrafts serviceable as quickly and safely as possible. Minister Duma clarified that New Guinea staff are proficiently working to ensure that passengers are informed, with the airline staff assisting passengers with rebooking, refunds and accommodation arrangements as well. Meantime, New Guinea's acting Chief Executive Officer Gary Seddon, in an official statement, explained that the airline is now exploring all available options and is working closely with other industry partners to evaluate a possibility of wet leasing additional aircrafts to supplement the current fleet and minimize service disruptions. More so, Seddon said New Guinea has taken necessary steps to procure 4 Q400 turboprop aircrafts and 2 larger Boeing 737-800 narrow-body regional jet aircrafts. All these aircrafts should be delivered to PNG before the end of this year. Lindy Suharuba, National Emtv News.
PNG City Mission has twice as much to celebrate with the grand opening of their new community hall and the graduating of 37 aspiring young men who admitted that at one point felt hopeless. In attendance, among others, to officiate the event was member for Hiri Koyari, Keith Iduhu, who hailed the ceremony heartwarming.
PNG City Mission General Manager Gerald Bengiza, during the new hall's official opening, expressed that although the hall's frames were donated, the structures itself plus the benches were built by the students themselves, an embodiment of what they can contribute to the society from the skills they now possess. The first event to be initiated in the new hall was the graduation of 37 of the mission's optimistic novices, 37 of which the member for Hiri Koyari challenged must have a plan as men moving forward.
As we won, I came back and I decided that, as good leadership should, we must have a plan. I pray that you will have a plan beyond this point. You must have a plan. It doesn't have to be a big plan, and the plan does not have to be right, but pray that in your heart it is within the will and whim and the ambits of God's purpose.
The member for Hiri Koyari expressed that the mission's 14-month life skills, literacy and vocational training, as well as their emphasis on spiritual growth programs, turned boys into men in the society, something the district ought to get in on.
And as I drove past a few times, I decided in my heart that I must connect with the good people in City Mission. So I made a courtesy call on your administration, and I posed a question. I said, how can we work together? You are in my district. How can we work together to impact the lives of our people? How can we make City Mission shine and be the catalyst for positive change and development in our country?
The graduation took place at PNG City Mission's center located at Mirigeda in the Central Province. Following the first graduation, which took place in April this year, this is the second graduation for 2023. Natasha Ovoy, National Emtv News.
Although graduations bring great hope for the future, signifying completion and achievement of learning, there is still the issue of lack of employment opportunities. 30 years on, and PNG City Mission still faces the challenge of getting its graduates employment opportunities. This was expressed by PNG City Mission Operational Manager Winston Orere.
Rere expressed that although there are partners to PNG City Mission offering employment opportunities, the arrangement is mainly as a casual employee than permanent.
We have few companies that provide only about 3 or 4 companies that provide casual jobs. They don't employ them, but they basically do casual, and that is good for short term. But we need people that could find long-term employment, full-time employment.
Being a product of PNG City Mission's Youth Development Program himself 20 years ago, Mr. Orere knows the potential young men who participate in the programs have. He expressed that the mission goes to extents to ensure their participants are prepared for employment, in addition to imparting them with life skills and vocational training.
The programs that we try to help our boys with, and the other thing that we do is we try to, every boy that comes through the program, we try to open the bank accounts, get them NIDs and police clearance and pre-medical check. So that prepares them to find full-time employment.
As a non-profit NGO, City Mission operates on the generous donation of its organizational, business and individual partners to make a difference in the lives of countless young people each year. Its theme, spreading the love of God and meeting human needs. Natasha Ovoy, National Emtv News.
Madang Governor Ramsey Pariwa says his province has seen an increase in law and order issues in recent months. He made a statement after a gruesome killing and beheading of a man in the Bugatti area of Raikos district and the murder of a PMV crew from Western Highlands along the Usino section of the Ramu-Madang Highway last week.
Condemning the killing, Pariwa called on the perpetrators to surrender. He has since called in the assistance of a mobile squad unit to assist police in the province. In response to Pariwa's request, the mobile squad 8 from Karawagi arrived in the province last week and has already begun operations.
I want to let my people of Madang know that the mobile 8 will be in the province for a period of 2 months in assisting in the attending to this law and order, rise in the law and order problems in the province.
The Madang governor thanked Police Commissioner David Menin and Internal Security Minister Peter Siamalili Jr. for their response to his request for police assistance. He also called on the 5 open members of the districts in the province to assist the mobile squad unit on the ground.
I also want to call on our 5 district members of parliament in the province to assist in supporting our mobile teams on the ground as they are going to attend to our districts as well in addressing the law and order issues currently affecting the province.
Pariwa also appealed to the youths in the province to stop engaging in unlawful activities and to approach his office and see how they can work to better their future.
I take this time to finally call on all my youths in the province to refrain from engaging in any law and order problems and unlawful activities and start forming youth groups and come and see me at my office here in Jomba so that we can talk about how best we can work together to better our future.
Law and order has been a grave concern not only in the Madang province, but in other provinces as well. Police are now faced with the huge task to control lawlessness. It is everyone's responsibility to maintain good order in our respective society. Natasha Ovoy, National Emtv News.
National Emtv News continues after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back to National Emtv News. Prime Minister and Foreign Affairs Minister James Marape has expressed his appreciation for the increased trade ties between Guangdong, a prominent Chinese province, and Papua New Guinea during a meeting with Guangdong Governor Wang Weizong midweek in Port Moresby. The discussions revealed a substantial surge of 265.2% in trade volume between Guangdong and PNG from January to May this year.
Known as China's economic powerhouse, Guangdong boasts the largest and fastest growing economy in terms of GDP among the 31 provinces and municipalities in mainland China. It is home to the influential Pearl River Delta economic zone, along with the Shantou, Shenzhen, and Zhuhai special economic zones. Governor Wayne stated import and export trade between Guangdong province and Papua New Guinea reached an impressive $477 million. That's 1.6 billion kina last year, marking a notable increase of 93.28%. The positive momentum has continued to strengthen, with import and export trade between our regions growing by 265.2% from January to May of this year. Expressing his satisfaction with the flourishing trade and investment levels, Prime Minister Marape emphasized, and I quote, "The trade partnership between our two regions has seen a remarkable growth of over 200%. However, there is still ample room for expansion, and we are eager to foster further collaborations with your province." End quote. Recognizing Guangdong as PNG's primary trading partner in China, Prime Minister Marape commended Governor Wang's leadership. Marape also expressed PNG's willingness to provide land to Chinese investors interested in forestry, fisheries, oil and gas, and other sectors. During the meeting, Prime Minister Marape informed Governor Wang about Chinese President Xi Jinping's long-standing connection with PNG, which dates back to 1998 when President Xi was governor of Fujian province. Notably, President Xi played a significant role in establishing the Lufa Mushroom Project in the Eastern Highlands, emphasizing the enduring connection between the Chinese people and PNG. Prime Minister Marape acknowledged the long history of Chinese influence in the country, and he expressed his gratitude to President Xi for elevating China-PNG relations to a higher level and thanked China for its status as PNG's largest trading partner. Marape concluded by reaffirming the vital role that Guangdong plays in the friendly and cordial relationship between China and PNG. Rocky Iso, National MTV News.
Number One Super Limited is seeking payment of its outstanding rental arrears after the state failed to make scheduled payments for the months of February, March, April, May, and June this year. According to NSL, the state's rental arrears now total over 108 million kina as of 30th of June 2023. This is comprised of 50 million kina accrued in 2023 and 58 million kina outstanding from several years prior to 2023.
NSL CEO Paul Seya said NSL and the state reached an agreement whereby the state would settle the remaining balance of its rental arrears in 10 million kina monthly installments. The installment includes 5 million kina per month to clear the outstanding accrued from prior years and another 5 million kina for its current month's rental. Mr. Seya said the January 2023 installments were met, but has since not made any further payments. CEO Seya said the settling of these rental arrears and consistent monthly payments going forward is crucial to ensuring that NSL members, which include the very staff that are employed by the state departments, are able to receive the appropriate return on their investments. State departments currently occupy NSL's Revenue House, Vulupindi House, Edatano House, OIP Center and the Treasury Building in Port Moresby and NSL House in Lae. The fund continues to follow up with the state to meet its obligations. Cynthia Maku, National MTV News.
Madang Governor Ramsey Pariwa has cleared the air on the slow implementation of government agendas in the province. Governor Pariwa said the Madang provincial government is on set with all its development agendas and has begun a few major projects. However, the delay in fully implementing development plans for the province is due to the administrative issues in the Madang provincial government.
Governor Pariwa cited the current problem facing the administration is the delay in the opening of the provincial government's account. The Madang Provincial Executive Council passed the 2023 annual budget totaling 427.9 million kina. But according to Pariwa, the financial directives issued by the Madang Provincial Administrator are not in line with the Public Management Act.
The delay in running the accounts and the implementation of the budget is in the provincial administration. The financial directives issued by the provincial administrator, Mr. Frank Lau, is not in line with the Public Finance Management Act structure, and therefore the provincial finance manager is working very hard to correct that blunder, and soon our budget will be open for implementation.
The Madang governor cautioned the provincial administrator and the finance manager that any money appropriated for anything that is not captured under the annual budget will not be tolerated.
I now urge the provincial administrator to work closely with the provincial finance manager to sort out the financial directives immediately and kickstart the implementation of the 2023 provincial budget.
He further said it is the middle of the year now and the people of Madang are waiting for the government to deliver its agendas. Therefore, it is important this issue is sorted out forthwith. Natasha Ovoy, National Emtv News.
60 grade 12 students from Butuka Academy and Port Moresby National School of Excellence graduated from Project Yumi Incorporated Project Walk Program today at the IEA College of TAFE in Ella Beach, Port Moresby today.
Project Walk 2023 program has already positively impacted more than 600 young Papua New Guineans with skills they will need to transition from school into workforce. Volunteer project manager and facilitator Don Johnson said their target is to reach more than 800 students this year. Project Walk is also planning on reaching out to other centres.
We'll be spending some time talking to principals and senior teachers in schools to start our planning for next year. And we have had some requests from other provinces for us to run the program in other provinces.
Project Walk is also focusing on other areas to provide training apart from student skills training.
And we've also been running community-based programs. So based on a request from a community leader, we've been running some community-based programs. And this year we've very much been focused on Port Moresby.
Volunteer mentors from corporate sponsor Credit Corporation and the Young Port Moresby Chamber of Commerce and Industry guided the students through the practical. Credit Corporation's Group IT Manager Jonathan Bundu spoke of his experience as a volunteer in the program.
Credit Corporation, especially their social responsibility, they've gone out of their way to give back to the community and support such programs in the communities and helping the youths and those that are preparing them to come into the workforce. So I think as an employer, I'm a volunteer. I work at Credit Corp as well, and I think it's a really good thing that the organization that I'm a part of is making a positive impact in the community.
Port Moresby School of Excellence students Losalini Munaga acknowledged Project Yumi Incorporation and Credit Corporation for the training, saying this will really help her in her job seeking.
So I think that it's a very good experience to have. It's something that I think all other schools, or like most other schools, secondary schools, should be able to participate, because it's something that really helps students gain confidence.
Project Yumi Incorporation is an Australian and Papua New Guinea registered not-for-profit and committed to empowering the youth of PNG in building skills that will help them secure jobs and overcome youth unemployment in PNG. Cynthia Maku, National Emtv News.
The Evangelical Lutheran Church Hagen District will now have its headquarters built in the provincial capital, Mount Hagen. The official groundbreaking ceremony was done yesterday, officiated by Governor Y. Rapa and Head Bishop of the Evangelical Lutheran Church of PNG, Reverend Jack Urame.
More than 100 members of the Lutheran Church gathered at the Bethel Church grounds to welcome Governor Y. Rapa, Head Bishop Jack Urame, and other church officials yesterday. Bishop of ELC PNG Hagen District, Pastor Teng Dui, during his welcoming address, revealed that they raised a total of 1 million kina to build the district office. Governor of the province, Y. Rapa, upon giving his official address to the people, took the opportunity to urge every citizen in the Western Highlands province to keep the city clean. He then urged every Western Highlander to lead by example and work together in all sectors, including churches, for the betterment of the province. More so, Governor Rapa made a commitment of 1 million kina towards the building of the church's headquarters and assured the church of more support in the near future. Member for Hagen Open, William Duma, has also made a commitment of 500,000 kina towards the building of the church's headquarters. ELC PNG Hagen District Headquarters was commissioned in the 1970s by the forefathers of the Lutheran Church, Hagen District. Lindy Suharupa, National Emtv News.
National Emtv News continues after the break with more stories. Stay with us. Welcome back to National Emtv News. The East New Britain Artisan Market has gone into the third year of operation since its establishment. Yesterday was the second quarter for the Artisan Sales Market, which usually is staged at the Tamur Center in Kokopo. The market was initially started in 2021 to bring East New Britain and the New Guinea Islands region, as well as SMEs together in a central location where they can promote and develop the SME sector within the province. ENB Artisan Market coordinators have plans of running more workshops in developing vendors and giving them the skills and tools to growing their business. And now moving to overseas news, Wagner machineries, which had been threatening to march on Moscow, have backed down after a deal was negotiated by Belarus. The head of the group has accused Russian forces of firing on his troops.
Just 24 hours ago, the head of the Wagner Group, Yevgeny Prigozhin, had declared a rebellion after accusing Russian forces of firing on his troops. Now he's left the Russian city of Rostov-on-Don, cheered on by crowds. The city had come under the private army's control when its troops left Ukraine. But Belarusian President Alexander Lukashenko intervened, brokering a deal to call off the rebellion.
They wanted to disband the Wagner military company. We embarked on a march of justice. In 24 hours, we got to within 200 kilometers of Moscow. In this time, we did not spill a single drop of our fighters' blood. Now the moment has come when blood could be spilled. Understanding responsibility for the chance that Russian blood will be spilled on one side, we are turning our columns around and going back to field camps as planned.
Under the agreement, the Kremlin has dropped all charges against Prigozhin, who will leave Russia and head to Belarus. Ukraine's president says the incident shows Russia is in chaos.
Today is a day when there should definitely be no silence. Today, the world saw that the bosses of Russia do not control anything. Nothing at all. Complete chaos. Complete absence of any predictability. And it is happening on Russian territory, which is fully loaded with weapons.
We've seen pictures in the last few hours of the Russians, the forces, security people were digging up roads. They had bulldozers digging up the highways that led to Moscow to try to stop the Wagner people getting to Moscow. They got to within 200 kilometres. They were 2 hours drive away. So it shows you not a single soldier tried to stop Yevgeny Prigozhin and the Wagner people. I think for Vladimir Putin, that would be what he'd be reeling about now. He'd be stunned by the fact no one tried to stop him. They were getting a hero's welcome. So the problem doesn't go away for Vladimir Putin. He is in a lot of trouble.
Canadian investigators have begun an inquiry into the Titan submersibles, which imploded last week during a deep dive to the wreckage of the Titanic.
Police and safety inspectors boarded the support ship, the Polar Prince, after it returned to port in Newfoundland. Canadian authorities have begun interviewing the crew to help determine what caused the tragedy. The chair of Canada's Transportation Safety Board, Kathy Fox, says they'll take the time they need to do a thorough investigation.
We take the time we need to do a thorough investigation, and we're in the early stages, and we need to scope out the lines of inquiry. Typically, our investigations can take 18 months to 2 years. We obviously try and do them quicker because we know everybody wants answers, particularly the family, the public, etc. But we need to take the time. Our mandate is to investigate from a safety perspective, identify what happened, why, and what can be done to reduce the risk of it happening in the future.
Stockton Rush was, of course, an idealist, an adventurer, a man who was quite explicitly willing to push the boundaries of the technology. But the Washington Post is arguing that he comes from a very long tradition of explorers and adventurers who understood the risks, who were taking calculated risks that nevertheless from time to time would go terribly wrong. Now, the Washington Post is acknowledging that Stockton Rush is largely responsible for the failure of the dive of the submersible, of the Titan, and is largely responsible for the deaths of all of those passengers on board, including himself. But the Post points out that he's not a suicidal man, that he genuinely believed that the technology was capable, and that if he believed all of the naysayers, then they simply wouldn't be pushing the boundaries in the way that they have. And the Post also points out that all of those on board understood that this was going to be a very risky mission. On the first page of the waiver form that they signed, it mentioned death at least 3 times. Now, again, the Post is also very careful to argue that they're not, that those people aren't responsible. We really do need to be sympathetic and mindful of the loss of the families.
An investigation is underway into an alleged violent burglary north of Brisbane yesterday morning.
Police allege 5 intruders entered a house armed with weapons, including a knife and what appeared to be a gun. They then left in a damaged silver Mitsubishi Lancer. Residents say they're shaken by the incident.
I think you're in a nice neighbourhood, you know, you got kids and old people, and then it's just boom, someone's getting robbed.
That could have been, easily could have been us.
National Emtv News continues after the break with Trukai Sports. Stay with us.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome to Trukai Sports. And the semi-finals for the Money Plus Royal Match 2023 Corporate Badminton Challenge continued last night at the Sir John Guy Stadium.
Hosted by the Pinoy Port Moresby Shuttles Club, the 2023 Corporate Badminton Challenge has seen players come from 7 companies to take part in the tournament. President of the Pinoy Port Moresby Shuttles Club, Arnie Afajado, gave the background of the tournament.
Tournament is called the Money Plus, of course sponsored by Money Plus, and partnered with the Pinoy Port Moresby Shuttlers Club. It's a badminton club that is, of course, based here in Port Moresby, which consists actually of over 100 members. So in this competition, we call it the Royal Match, or a corporate badminton competition for various corporations or companies.
According to Afajado, the finals will take place next week.
We actually were able to gather 7 corporations or companies who joined the tournament, and they are represented by 10 players each team. So the categories involved in the competition is men's A, which are we call the elite players, and we have the men's B, we have a mixed doubles, we have the women's doubles. So roughly there's 10 members of the team, and we were running this tournament since the beginning of June.
The sport of badminton is popular in Asian countries, and the call was made for those interested in it or for anyone looking to keep fit to turn up at the Sir John Guy Stadium.
Our club is actually placed in John Guy's 3 times a week. Right now we don't include the weekends yet because of the competition, but normally we do play on Tuesdays, Fridays, and Sundays. So that's when our members and non-members alike can come and participate and play badminton. It's more of like those who haven't really tried it, you can come and try it, and we can even give you some pointers and teach you how to play the sport. Like, it's not a common sport like basketball or volleyball, but once you are in it, like I've been playing for this sport for over 10 years now, and I'm loving it. I'm still playing it.
Following nearly 4 weeks of competition, the finals of the Money Plus Royal Match 2023 Corporate Badminton Challenge will conclude next week with the men's doubles, women's doubles and mixed doubles finals. Rocky Iso, Trukai Sports.
Rugby can be used as a way to self-discipline, keep one occupied and even lead to success. This was the encouragement teams had during the launch of the Vanapa Brown Rugby League yesterday.
During what can be considered a milestone for the communities along Vanapa Brown yesterday, Ward Councillor George Girisa expressed that the league was a good opportunity for the youths to shift people's usual negative views towards the community. He encouraged that one can excel in sports.
Message Blomitas all Bami Lusim, Vanapa Brown, challenge Bloyumi, Planti Pikinini, all got Save, all by Exile, Sports, Narabla Santin by me, Exile too, suppose. You may take him very serious. Lobby animal, simple Santinosem, Lusimol, illicit drug.
Sharing similar sentiments was Man with a Plan Vanapa Brown League President McShane Savino, who stressed that the club must prove it's worthy of such opportunity and to be positive always.
Something to Yubla. Mibla representing Yubla. So, I'm beginning, lo gupla mo lo kam. I'm tok blomi. So, no can get negative thoughts, negative feelings, negative thinking by giving you negative behavior.
Savino shared that sports is a means of encouraging youth development, especially through the country's most loved sport, rugby. Natasha Ovoy, Trukai Sports.
Trukai Sports continues after the break. Stay with us.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome back to Trukai Sports. To overseas sports now, Essendon's 4 matches winning a run has come to an end, losing to a 32 points defeat against Fremantle.
The Bombers fell to a 32-point defeat against Fremantle in Perth. The Dockers kicked 14 goals 9-93 to 9 goals 7-61 in front of over 43,000 fans in Perth. Earlier, the Eagles went down by 171 points to Sydney at the SCG, the 4th biggest defeat in AFL or VFL history. The The Swans won 31 goals 19, 205 to 5 goals for 34. It was the greatest number of points West Coast have conceded since they entered the competition in 1987.
The Adelaide Thunderbirds have booked their spot in the Super Netball Grand Final with a thrilling extra-time victory over the Swifts in Sydney.
The Thunderbirds trailed at every change until a 19 goals to 14 final quarter locked the game at 58 all and forced extra time. The Thunderbirds then went on to win the extra period 6 goals to 4 to cap off a dramatic victory. Later on today, the West Coast Fever take on the Melbourne Vixens in the minor semi-final.
I can't believe it. I think it's not sunk in yet. These girls are just incredible, and I think tonight we showed what we can do. Coming from last week and having the win, we knew they were going to come out hard, and they did exactly that. And I'm just so proud of how we all stepped up when it needed to be. And I can't believe we're in the grand final.
And that ends Trukai Sports. The weather report is next. Stay with us.
Trukai Sports. Trukai Sports.
This weather update is proudly brought to you by MoniPlus, with you always.
And now taking a look at the weather forecast for the next 24 hours. In the southern region, Port Moresby City, mostly fine although partly cloudy. Daru, windy and partly cloudy with evening showers. Kerema, partly cloudy with evening showers and drizzles. Alata, windy and partly cloudy with brief showers tonight. Popondetta, evening rain showers and possible thunderstorms, then cloudy. In the Momasa region, Lay City, rain showers and possible thunderstorms, then cloudy. Madang, few evening showers and cloudy periods. Wewak, brief evening showers and partly cloudy. Vanimo, partly cloudy with evening shower or two. In the New Guinea Islands region, Lorengau, few evening showers and possible thunderstorms, then partly cloudy. Kavieng, brief showers and partly cloudy. Kokopo and Rabaul, evening rain showers and possible thunderstorms, then cloudy. Kimbe, frequent rain showers and possible thunderstorms, then cloudy. Buka, frequent rain showers and possible thunderstorms, then cloudy. And in the Highlands region, Mount Hagen City, partly cloudy with few showers and possible thunderstorms. Goroka and Kundiawa, light evening showers, drizzles, then partly cloudy. Mendi and Wabeg, partly cloudy with evening showers and possible thunderstorms.
The weather update was proudly brought to you by MoniPlus, with you always.
And that wraps up the news, sports and weather for Sunday, the 25th of June 2023. From all of us here, pleasant viewing. Bye for now.
This news program was proudly brought to you by Smart Start Breakfast Biscuits and Gold Nuggets.